month, our potato plants looked amazing. They were green, they stood upright, they looked so healthy and vibrant. But now, not so much. But this isn't bad news, it's actually good news. The fact that they're starting to yellow, fall over, and starting to die back means that it's time to harvest potatoes. We planted potatoes back on April 22nd. I started by loosening and aerating the soil with a garden fork. This also worked in some of the leaves I had on the top of the bed as mulch. I tried not to turn the soil much though. I brushed aside enough mulch and soil to plant the seed potatoes 3 to 4 inches deep and about a foot apart. I then covered them with worm castings and gave them a good watering. When the plants got to be about a foot tall, I hilled them up with some compost, more leaves, and used coffee grounds. I sprayed them with compost tea on a weekly basis, continued to hill them up as they grew taller, but didn't apply any fertilizer or other soil amendments. But let's get back to today's harvest. Potatoes were planted along the entire length of this bed, but I decided to only harvest a few feet of the potatoes. We don't have that much storage space for them, and it's perfectly fine to leave them in the ground for a while. Today I'm harvesting red potatoes. We have other varieties of potatoes elsewhere in the garden as well. When I harvest potatoes, I prefer to use my hands rather than a garden fork or a shovel, and this is simply to avoid damaging the potatoes in any way. And besides, I'm harvesting such a small area, I really don't need to use anything but my hands. And if I'm careful and feel my way around in the soil, I can usually get most, if not all, of the potatoes. As I've mentioned in other videos, I don't till or otherwise turn the soil. So when I dig for potatoes, it's one of the rare opportunities I have to take a look at the soil and the earthworm population in the soil. And today I was not disappointed by the number of earthworms I found. And here's a quick look at some of those earthworms. One of the biggest benefits of mulching is that it provides a food source for earthworms and attracts them to your garden. When I finished playing in the dirt with my worms, I laid the potatoes out on a paper bag in the back of the yard where it was fairly shady. This is to let them dry out a bit, let the dirt dry on the potatoes. Once the dirt dries, it's fairly easy to brush it off. You don't want to wash the potatoes prematurely as it could damage them. Looking at these potatoes now, I can't stop thinking of my wife Karen's famous potatoes with garlic, sage, and rosemary recipe. I'm really looking forward to that. Well, that's all for now. Thank you very much for watching. And until next time, remember, you can change the world 1 yard at a time.